Hello everybody and welcome back to RogueTech, where I was looking around a little bit and I figured out why exactly the Raven cannot be deployed. Let's take a look here, and it looks like they changed the hardpoints on the Raven at some point. Another undocumented change. So we're going to have to remove either the small laser or the medium pulse laser and put it somewhere else. Now there are other energy weapon hardpoints. I believe they just moved the hardpoint rather than removing it. But that's still a little strange, right? I'm going to actually put it over on the other side, though, because all of our weapons were located on the right side here, and if we lost that, all we'd have left was the narc, which would not be particularly effective. So we'll validate that, and yep, that looks good.
On it. I'll let you know when that's done.
Okay, so we have some repairs that need to happen. These will honestly happen very, very quickly. They'll all be done by the time the Blackjack's done being repaired, or reworked, really, more than anything. But the Blackjack, it's still in a temporary state, right? And it's only intended to be used as a backup right now. So we're actually going to move that down to the bottom of the list. We want the Guillotine and the Archer to be repaired for sure before we go out. And both of those are in slots that will be worked on, so that is great. Let's go ahead and tick forward just a couple of days here, probably the 4 days for most of our pilots to get back. Something like that. Okay. The repaired med bay is done too. In fact, we could tick forward one more day to have 2 more pilots back. I don't think we need to have those 2 pilots back, though, and I'd rather potentially be able to deploy again this month because we spent a lot of money on engine heat sinks, which ended up not working out the best for us, but that's okay. Let's hop into our barracks and just see if we need to do any training on our available mech warriors here. Hello, Kraken can grab a point of tactics. Excellent. Lord Daki, a point of guts. Anything else here? Nope, that all looks good. Excellent. Now, I don't care too much about the Blackjack getting finished up. The real question is, do we get ourselves an additional mech bay? Or do we start going for med bays, because those do seem to reduce the amount of time pilots stay fatigued. That's slightly cheaper. It does give us a medical point, and this reduction of incapacitating and lethal damage, that's nice as well. I think we'll go for it. That puts us real low on our funds. So let's hop into the store here and see if we can just sell anything really quick here. I'm not too interested in spending too much time on this. 3 AC2s, we'll keep them around. Anything in here? We've got 4 Gauss rifles. That's okay. What I'm really looking for more than anything is equipment duplicates. Things like engine core duplicates. Like this engine core 200. Wonderful. We'll get rid of that. This engine core 100, that's not going to be very much at all. But the idea here is we're just trying to cover some of our drop costs, right? So that is the goal here. That's a lot of basic sensors. I'm going to go ahead and sell 5 of them. Excellent. And I'm going to sell a single standard fusion engine as well. And we're going to keep around the engine heatsink plus 3. We will find a use for that. Okay, so we have enough money to deploy now, and that is wonderful. So let's hop into the command center and see what we want to run here. I mean, this would be super easy in theory. That's a lot of salvage. A super easy defend base? With a double priority salvage against Comstar? I don't hate this. Okay, so we can't bring El Duce or Adrenaline, obviously. However, we could bring, in place of the Vulcan and the Panther, our 2 Chameleons. And so we shall. And then over here, these are, I believe, mech slots. So we can bring in the Hunchback. Oh, we still have a 400-ton drop limit. Yikes, I didn't look at that. Fair enough. That is, of course, a result of not having our upgrades in drop tonnage, right? So that requires drive repairs. Noted. We're running up against that limit, and we will be every time right now. So we need to focus on getting drive repairs next, followed by starting to work on some of these drop tonnages. Noted. We're starting to run up against those.
Kick off your shoes.
Okay, so with that, that's still okay. I'm not concerned about it. We're still going to run this, and we are... Let's see, this is 350 tons here. We could, in theory, swap this out for a single chameleon, and then we would be able to swap the Vulcan out here for the Hunchy. I'd rather bring the Hunchy than a chameleon. And we're going to have to leave that basically empty. I do want to bring all the vehicles. If we were to downsize this chameleon to the Raven, and Lord Dacky does have skills in the Raven, then in theory that gives us 40 tons to work with, so we can bring the Vulcan. Okay, so we need a Vulcan pilot here. Aryamaki is not the one for that. We also need an Archer and a Hunchback pilot. So Archer, Hunchback, and Vulcan. Okay. Falcon is... He could theoretically go for some Archer skills. He does have the tactics. That's fine. Sideshow is also tactics. Noted. Sideshow has been in a chameleon. Blaze, of course, no longer has the assassin. We could put her in theory. Actually, the Hunchy is probably fine because we did the rework on that. The Hunchy is going to be moving pretty quick now. And then for the Vulcan, Aryamaki might be a good target for that. It kind of fits into the same category as the Assassin and Chameleon, but the Vulcan sucks right now without those mag shots. But that's okay. That's okay. That mag shot change I'm still a little salty over, I'm not going to lie. But we're going to go ahead and deploy this. And we're right at our lance weight limit. So that's fantastic. We're definitely going to need to work on bringing those up, though. So let's see how quickly we can get into this. We should be able to burn through these enemies pretty quickly. It's only skull and a half difficulty in theory. And with our 70-tonners, we should be pretty effective here, especially now that the guillotine is more heat efficient. Hopefully we'll get some double heat sinks out of this, and we can use those to bulk up the heat dissipation of the Blackjack. But we need to defend the Davian maintenance base. Our VTOL factory on Bell is under threat because of rumors that we are developing a new military airframe. This gossip has reached certain parties who may send spies and saboteurs. We've arranged for a garrison force to be moved into place, but we need mercenaries to protect the factory until our forces arrive. There are no static weapon emplacements on this facility, and I couldn't pin their negotiator down on whether any of the VTOL assets on site are going to be of any use. Okay, well they probably will, but there are no static weapon emplacements? Seems like we've had Seems like we've had Darius say that before, and that wasn't exactly correct. So we'll see if it is in fact correct.
Interface initiated.
I see static weapon locations, but perhaps no actual emplacements. Comstar units coming in from over here. Noted. We do have allies. Patrol of friendlies. Okay. So, realistically, where do we want to set our deployment at? Oh, and by the way, I did see that there's... Okay, we can't get any closer than this. Noted. I did see that you can deploy by holding left alt, unit by unit, apparently. Ah, yeah, so you can. So that's the Raven there. It's a little backwards, but that's fine. I'm just going to go ahead and drop everything here, though. This seems like a very safe drop point. And then we'll just head over this way. and see if we can get any closer. Okay.
This looks like a nice place to settle down. Raise some kids.
All right, everyone. Stay frosty. Who fights over...
Interesting. It appears to have spawned a VTOL over almost every turret emplacement. Fascinating. So we see that there are some Comstar units over here. We don't exactly know what they are, and that is our options menu that we don't necessarily need. Our allies are up here, it would appear. That's just a Swiftwind and a J. Edgar. That's not particularly important. There's also a Phoenix Hawk up there. That's pretty good. And these helicopters will hopefully be useful. There's a Locust over there as well that's not going to be particularly useful. Looks like Aryamaki is the one who moves right now. However, I'm going to reserve. And we're going to allow these guys to move first. This guy's going to move phase 22, so we'll see what happens. Our Locust friend moves up. Actually gets a couple hits in there. I'm shocked about that. Okay, so this guy's moved up. We're going to reserve one more time here. I'm not sure if we'll reserve any more. These guys are 19, 15, 17, 16. We'll reserve one more time, and then we'll decide if we want to reserve again. That's a mongoose. Okay.
How's it going?
At this point, we're going to sprint up with our Vulcan to here.
Going full throttle.
What are our hit odds like? Hot garbage on a lot of these, but should be okay on a couple of them. Moderate on a couple of them, actually. More like. I mean, the Vulcan is still going to be bad, right? We know that. We're just going to potshot this mongoose, see if we get anything.
Firing all weapons.
Actually, we got 40 damage on it. That's not bad. Okay, we'll see what our ally does. Also, where is the returning patrol at? Phoenix Hawk moves up, fires on the mongoose, gets a couple hits in there. Okay, so where is that returning patrol? That's these guys, and they have to get to this point. They're going to be completely clear to do that, and once they are, then these VTOLs will come online for us.
Yeah.
Got it. The harasser isn't going to be tremendously effective against these guys because they are, of course, in water. Now, this is the same amount of evasive pips, so we're just going to move up to here. And we're going to hit this guy not in hopes of overheat, especially with 3 of his energy weapons gone, but rather in hopes of just doing internal damage. Like, if we hit all 4 of these right in that CT, the mongoose dies.
Acknowledged.
I don't expect that to happen, though. And it did not. Okay.
Waiting on you, Commander.
The Raven can move up to, say, here.
Right, Commander.
And I would love to get some missiles on this guy. Only 25% on the LRMs. That's not great, to be sure. But we'll give it a go. Maybe we narc it. Who knows?
Special delivery.
Oh, we did narc it. That was a lot, actually.
There's more.
Much better than those hit odds gave us excuse for. I like it. That's a Kintaro. Firing on that structure and doing a little damage to it. Not too much, though. Our archer, we're going to sprint forward with that to get to this position here. And I would not mind lighting into the Kintaro here. Our hit odds are slightly better on it. This is with Follow the Leader ammo, and we're better off with Artemis right now. So that's what we're going to use, is Artemis ammo. Excellent. And we can fire the handheld light PPC as well.
May I interest you in some melting armor?
Oh, and we stray-shotted that. That was very nice. We stray-shotted that into this guy. The PPC, that is.
I'm here.
I like it. The J. Edgar is going to move up as close as it can over here.
Confirmed.
And we're going to get in behind that mongoose and hopefully do a little more damage to its rear arc. Okay, heavy on the little. Very heavy on the little, in fact. Okay, that looks like a Comstar Vulcan. With only a single energy weapon. Okay.
Receiving you.
Noted. The Striker is going to move up to where it has LOS here, and I would love to continue hitting that Kintaro. Just checking to see if we're better off. No, we're better off on the Kintaro. Okay, the Kintaro I also feel like is the primary threat here. Given the fact that most of these seem to have a poor complement of weapons, that Hunchback does have a decent complement as well. Noted. Okay. Oh, I probably should have checked to see if we had alternate ammo types. I can't remember if we do or not. Yeah, that's something that I should have done. Phase 15, the Hunchback is going to move, and we'll see how painful that is. It might be fairly painful. Okay, the spider jumping up into the mineral field. That's fine.
Commander?
Our Hunchback is going to sprint forward just as far as it can.
Copy that, Commander.
And we're going to see about lighting up, honestly, the Kintaro again. We could theoretically stray shot our Harasser. And I would prefer not to do that. But
Fire in.
let's see how this goes. All the stray shots ended up hitting the Hunchback. Perfect. The Swiftwind has made it in, and the VTOLs are now on our side. Wonderful. The Hunchy moves up. Fires on that vehicle, does a little damage, but really not very much. AMS really doing work there. Okay. Firing a light Gauss. I'm assuming that's a light Gauss. That's a regular Gauss. Okay. Noted. That's some exciting stuff there.
Yes, Commander.
Okay, our Maxim is definitely going to make its way in as close as it can here. Now, the question is, what are our hit odds like? We don't want to be running Inferno rounds here, I don't think. I think we want standard rounds. 38%, 32%. Okay. Looks like it's the Mongoose. Right into this side arc.
All weapons are go.
Wasn't ideal, but we knew it wouldn't be.
Critical hit, Commander.
Excellent. What was that weapon? Whatever it was, it seems to have failed. What was that? It's just a tag. Okay. Noted.
What do you need?
Now the Guillotine's turn. It's going to move up to as good of LOS as it can get right now, which isn't the best. And we're going to take a look at hit odds. Probably the Hunchy is what I'm thinking we'll target here. Yeah. We're going to have to go with the Hunchy. Light him up.
Confirmed.
Good hits there. A lot of those ended up hitting the Kintaro, which I am very okay with.
Receiving you.
Our Vulcan is now going to move in. And we're going to look to melee this Mongoose from... If we hit this angle, I feel like we're exposing ourselves a little too much to their mediums. I would prefer to come in and hit from this angle. Even though it is a front attack, I'm okay with that. This is more about positioning than damage output.
Locked on for physical attack.
Boop. Okay, good damage there.
Think I hit something.
And that is an ejected Mongoose. That's what I like to see. Next up, the Raven. We're going to move in over here. I'm just looking for our optimal range band. That's actually pretty good for the Hunchy. And pretty good for the Kintaro. We'll take it. We'll move right here. Do we hit the Hunchy or do we hit the Kintaro? This is side arc on the Hunchy, right in that weak side. Do it. That's a successful narc. Oh, but we missed the FTL missiles. Sad. Oh well. That was a single hit. Okay. SRM2? Disgusting. Not all that useful, but I mean 10 damage is 10 damage. It's better than we would have had without the FTL, or without the VTOLs up there. The Locust is also going to focus on that Hunchy, and that, with that Narcon there, that's some actual damage. Nice. Ooh, that was very nice right there. What was that 60 damage that that cavalry had? ATGM missile rack. Okay. Noted.
Yes, Commander.
Okay. The J. Edgar, at this point, this Vulcan is not very threatening. This Spider is not very threatening. This Hermes is not very threatening. The Kintaro and the Hunchy are the threats here. But the Hunchy is super weak at this point. The Hunchy dies this round. I'm quite sure of this. We're going to move in directly behind the Kintaro. This is only one evasive pip, but I feel safe with these 3 mechs. They might melee us. If we lose a vehicle, it's not the end of the world. Soften up that Kintaro's rear arc. Nice. Okay, Swiftwind moves up. Sure. Phase 18. Who moves 18? The Hermes? Okay. I don't particularly care. And he didn't even fire. Sure. The Striker is going to move in here. This is optimal range for the Hunchy for everything. And I really, really like that. We're going to position here. This is Artemis 4 ammo. We do have standard ammo, and we have a little more of that. So we're going to use the standard ammo right now. And that is a dead Hunchy.
Tango down.
Excellent. Ooh, that's a big hit on that Kintaro. The Kintaro moves phase 14. We may be able to get the Harasser in there first before the Kintaro moves, but we can't get the Maxim in there. So that's noted. Okay, we're going to move in with the Guillotine. We're going to continue to sprint a little bit closer here. We'll position here.
No shooting, just
This is
running.
side arc on the Vulcan, or we can fire on the Kintaro, and we have much better hit odds there. And that's exactly what we're going to do. This is an overheat. I do want to fire the bolt-on rockets here. I'm not going to fire this medium laser. And then we accept this overheat. And that's a dead Kintaro.
Target destroyed.
Fantastic.
Standing by.
Okay, our Hunchy's going to close in over here. I'm not sprinting this time.
Affirmative.
And I would love to fire... Actually, the Spider is a very good target for us. Do it.
All right.
I would have expected a few more hits there, I'll be honest, but it'll work. But yeah, the Spider is a super good target. Phoenix Hawk moves up, also decides to fire on the Spider there, doing a lot of damage. The Spider is now unsteady. It is super vulnerable. The Archer is going to position here where it can see the Spider.
Onward.
And from here, we're probably best off firing Artemis. Yeah, we are. But actually, FTL is good enough right now, in terms of its hit odds, that I'm going to fire them on the chance that a single missile hits, they will all hit. We'll see if it pays off. And it did.
Come on, Mech Warriors.
Wonderful.
It's go time.
And I did that because, honestly, Artemis 4 ammo is more beneficial for us to have later on, because we're expecting additional enemies beyond just this lance, right? So that'll be a thing.
Yep.
The Harasser could go after either the Hermes or the Vulcan. I'm going to send it after the Hermes.
Roger.
Okay. Get in there. Do some rear arc damage.
This should be
That was 3 hits. Okay. Structure exposure back there. Nice.
good to go.
The Maxim could also come into this rear arc, except we don't really have a good rear arc location. So we're just going to park behind the Vulcan with the Maxim.
Affirmative.
we're just going to light this rear arc up.
Confirmed.
And that is a one-shot Vulcan.
Tango down.
Magnificent. Okay, now all that's left is the Hermes. The Hermes is overheated, and it's not currently in fire, and it just shut itself down by walking through the fire. Awkward.
Waiting for orders.
The Hunchi cannot get into LOS of it, so we're just going to walk into the water for right now
Copy that,
and
Commander.
brace to chill. Excellent. Locust moves up, fires indirect on the Hermes, does a little bit of damage there. Realistically,
Do for you.
I'm expecting that we're going to need to position up over this way
Yeah?
for the others. So we're just going to get started on that, and we'll send our vehicles after the Hermes.
I'm here.
The Archer will also move up this way and sink heat.
Understood. Moving fast.
Excellent.
Waiting for
The
orders.
Vulcan will also come back towards the base.
Roger. Full speed.
Okay, and we are going to utilize the J. Edgar to get up over to here. And we're going to hit that Hermes in its rear arc. Okay, and then the Maxim will finish it off.
Standing by.
The Striker honestly isn't even going to fire this round. 15 more damage into the Hermes, but we don't care. Phoenix Hawk firing on the Hermes, an additional 10 damage, sure, whatever. These guys are going to move around a bit, yep, as expected.
Commander.
And then the Maxim can move up to... This could be a decent position. Sure. That's an ideal range. We'll take it. Finish him. Excellent. One dead Vanguard.
That's a kill.
Okay. The Harasser can start moving back up this direction.
Let's move.
And we'll see what spawns in, as expected. With that, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we will deal with this second group. This doesn't look all that bad. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.